one of the distinctions I say about this book specifically is this is not a book about how a woman gets ahead. This is a book about how women collectively get ahead, because I can tell you how to get ahead as a woman. If that works, which it does, if you conform to the playbook, and I think we've seen many contemporary examples of this in modern culture today, yeah, you can absolutely get ahead if you just, you know, sit quiet, you serve their needs and everything. But you will be worse off overall, and all women will be worse off overall. And I argue in this book, all men will be worse off overall as a result. However, as soon as women start to get into leadership, closer to like about 30% of management, what happens is they get enough buy-in to their ideas such that they can't just be sidelined or overridden completely, because there's enough of them
Yeah.
represented that they can actually start to shift the culture, and they do. The data shows us that works. And the more women get represented into those leadership roles, the more a lot of these gaps in things like promotions and pay start to close. So much so that one paper out of the UK found that it was around women were 60% of workplace management, and gender pay gaps closed completely throughout the
I
organization.
love that.
So I think a lot of this book tries to be very clear again about that reframe between what is the
Yep.
individual project versus what is the
Yes.
collective
Yep.
project. And reframing this as a collective project is actually going to be a lot more sustainable and effective for all of
I
us.
love that, because here's a couple things that I'm taking from this. And you said this at the beginning of the book, and everyone buy it, read it. There's so much good. It's data backed. So it's not, I think you hear a lot like feminist. Oh, you're sprouting these things. This is so much data that backs this up. And you say this early on in the book about like individuals, and we kind of, how can the individual change this? So when we're talking to people and they're listening, we already know that there's less women in management. And when we talk about needing to change the collective, we need men to listen to this, because honestly, they are the ones at the seat, holding most CEO roles, most of the senior leadership. But we are also seeing a mass exodus of women leaving corporate, starting their own businesses. We are certainly still dealing with the investment gap with women-owned businesses. But what I think is really important about what you're talking about is, if women can realize that they're molding themselves to a different way, they are leaving and starting in droves, whether it's fractional work or their own businesses. If they can surround themselves with other women, they can kind of change that mentality then, right? Because that is uniquely in your power as you build your own businesses and what you want to surround yourself with. So I think that's really inspiring, hopeful, and gives like real tangible action to women as they're starting to do this.
I